Country music singer Luke Bryan is famous for upbeat party songs and booty-shaking dance moves. But there are a lot of tears and sorrow behind the singer-songwriter's infectious smile and crowd-pleasing wiggle. For someone with such an upbeat stage presence, Luke Bryan has actually suffered through a multitude of tragedies. So here's a look at the sad parts of this country crooner's life that don't often make it into his lyrics. Teenage dreams. As a boy, Thomas Luther Bryan's upbringing was relatively normal. The youngest of 3 children, he grew up in Georgia with an older sister and brother whose father was a peanut farmer. He grew to love music thanks to his family and at the age of 14, began playing the guitar. At 19, he was ready to move to Nashville, Tennessee and try his hand at the country music scene when his family experienced its major moment of devastation.
My older brother, Chris, was unexpectedly killed in a car accident.
Chris was only 26 when he passed away, so Luke stayed home with his family instead of seeking out the bright lights, going to college at Georgia Southern University to study business management. Bryan told People magazine, "I was never convinced I'd get back to Nashville, but I didn't spend time on should I go or should I not. It was just not going. Your mother had just lost a child. At that point, her youngest son was not going to leave the house. Chris's dying got me a little more mature." Unfortunately, the strain of his brother's death would also cost his parents their marriage, as the two divorced just 2 years later. Strike 2. Going to college would turn out to be an unexpected blessing for Luke Bryan, who played in a band there and got to hone in his signature dance skills. He also met his future wife, Caroline Boyer, with whom he shares 2 children.
I married the girl of my dreams, I have 2 beautiful children, and I have the career of my dreams.
He had some early success as a songwriter for artists like Billy Currington and Travis Tritt, but it took him a while to get his big break as a performer. In 2007, 6 years after moving to Nashville, he finally got an album deal as a performer and released his first record, I'll Stay Me. Then he got invited to the Grand Ole Opry to perform there for the first time, where his sister Kelly brought over 100 people from his hometown to watch. Bryan was riding high. But a few days after the Opry show, Kelly, just 39 at the time, died while doing the laundry. Despite several autopsies, the cause of death is still unknown. Kelly was married and had 3 young children who her husband would raise.
My only siblings, gone from the world in a flash in 2 different, crazy, tragic manners.
He told People Country, "Losing my brother changed me tremendously and losing Kelly even more. I literally do not take 1 second for granted." But sadly, that would not be the end of his personal suffering. Paying tribute. As time went on, Luke Bryan's star status would continue to rise, despite his personal losses. He released multiple hit albums and was chosen Country Music Entertainer of the Year in 2013. He later told reporters of his feat, "What's important is that my family has dealt with a lot of tragedy in my life, with me losing my older brother and my older sister. That's the first thing you think, that they're in heaven smiling down on moments like this." Bryan then shared the win backstage at the Las Vegas-based show with his wife, parents, and his late sister's husband Ben Lee Cheshire and Ben's new girlfriend. He said, "We cried for an hour. With all the stuff with my family, I felt like I was the positive thing to outweigh the negative." He would later pay tribute to his lost siblings during a CMA Awards performance of his feel-good hit Drink a Beer. Saying goodbye again. As much as he tried to smile through his losses, Luke Bryan's family would again suffer once his brother-in-law Ben Cheshire died at the age of 46 of a suspected heart attack. Cheshire had stayed close with the Bryan family and left behind 3 children who had already lost their mother. After this tragedy, Bryan admitted to ABC News that it was a lot to deal with, saying, "It's every day on the phone all day trying to talk with the family and figure out what to do, but it's what you gotta do." Luke and his wife took Until, their teenage nephew, to raise him along with their own children.
We're so blessed to be able to take him in.
Until's adult sisters, Chris and Jordan, visit the home frequently.
I've got to do the whole scare whoever the boys that they're talking to. I have to play that role too.
With 3 young boys in the Bryan household, it is what he calls constant chaos. He told People magazine, "They always have 7 or 8 of their friends over. Our furniture is constantly getting broken and damaged, but we try not to think about it too much. It's just life at the Bryans. I wouldn't want it any other way." But amazingly, that still wasn't the last tragedy to befall the Bryan family. In February 2017, Caroline and Luke Bryan's infant niece Sadie died after suffering a variety of health issues. The baby was the child of Luke's wife's sister Ellen. Bryan used Twitter to thank his fans for the outpouring of prayers after the terrible news. Even despite the many losses Luke Bryan and his family have endured, the Sunny singer still tries to keep a positive attitude. He told People, "I think with everything that's happened in my family, I just have to lean on my faith and the understanding that God has a plan for all of us. We just wake up every day and do our best. I'll get down in the dumps, and then I'll meet a Make-A-Wish kid and I'll ask myself, what are you complaining about? You just have to keep your faith strong and rock on." Considering all he's been through, that level of resiliency is surely something to sing about. Thanks for watching. Click the Nicki Swift icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.